This is going to be Ready to Love Potomac, episode 4, Party Crashers. More blind dates come on this episode. Y'all know how I do. I don't really give you a play-by-play of what happened on the show. I assume you've already watched the show, and this is a post-discussion, post-episode discussion. You know what I mean? So, but definitely by all means, drop in the comments below and let me know what I missed. So the men have the power this week, and Wiley, Tommy meets up with the men for a second, and he ends up telling Wiley that, you know, we're going to do more blind dates, and I'm going to set you up with somebody that's closer to your age. And while that sounded really good, unfortunately, I don't think this one is going to work either, because once she gets there and has a chance to talk to a couple of people, when she's talking to Paul, we find out that she likes older men. So, I don't think that's gonna be a match. Okay, so Wiley meets Tina. They vibe. They match each other's fly. They talk about Tina's past relationship. She said she's got out of a toxic relationship, and so they talk about that, and you know, they kind of vibe and everything. And then so Precious meets up with Donovan. Now, Donovan is fine as well. And he's tall and he likes tall women. So he's excited that Precious was tall. So on this blind date, Precious really likes what she sees. She's like, yes, yes, yes. But Donovan is not really vibing with her on the same level. But at the end of the day, Precious was like, everybody's gonna know that he's hers. I was like, oh no. They had a decent date, but it just wasn't a connection. It was a one-sided connection. So Donovan, the interesting thing I think about Donovan is that he mentioned that he grew up around all women. Now, the one thing I can say about that is that Donovan probably really knows how to cooperate with the opposite sex. Men that grow up with single mothers or around a lot of women, they learn different women's personalities, and they learn how to keep all those women happy in their lives if they're smart. Because if not, all the women will be on them. But Donovan looks like the one that he knows how to maneuver around multiple women. I'm gonna go out on a limb and with this one and just be like, let's just watch him throughout the season, and I bet you he's gonna be like the most efficient at communicating and dealing with the women. I don't know why I think that, but I think that men who grew up around a lot of women and they respect those women, I think that they have a certain skill where that's concerned. Now, it could be used for good and it could be used for evil. And we don't know which one Donovan doing yet, so we're going to see. But I think that it'll be interesting to come back and visit this video after the season plays out to see if, you know, if I was right. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, but they start talking. Donovan said he was married for 12 years. And then Precious says that she's been single for 9 years and celibate for 6 months, and she's bursting at the seams. So I think that probably is what turned Donovan off a little bit, like her being so forward about her attraction to him. And she was making like little innuendos and stuff, and he just wasn't responding to it in that way. So Joy and Laverne go on a date. They went to do pottery. They went to a pottery place. And so because, so it looks like this is something that Joy expressed to him that she was interested in doing, because he got, you know, because he set that up and she liked the fact that he did that. She said it was like he was listening. So they had a fun little date and they had a little flirting going on or whatever. But I don't know if I really see, I'm not saying I don't see a connection. Like, I think that they have fun together, but I don't see the connection that I see with her and Clifton at all. And so, you know, I don't see that. I don't know how far that one's going to go. But she said that Laverne was a gentleman. And so, you know, they had fun. They had a good time. So, like, AP, Austin, and Demetrius get together. And You know what's interesting about this is that everybody's saying that AP Austin isn't ready to love. She's not over her husband. And we don't really know where she is in her healing because that's that lady's business. But, you know, I think that her and Demetrius have similar personalities in how reserved they are. And just because a person is reserved doesn't mean that they're not trying to connect or they're not, you know, ready to do something that others are openly showing. I think it's a part of both of their personalities, to be honest. I'm kind of sad that they didn't connect with each other because she mentioned on the tour bus that she really wanted to be sent by him so she could start talking to him or whatever. So, you know, you never know who you're going to have chemistry with. And unfortunately, they did make a connection, but not a romantic connection, according to Demetrius. So that's unfortunate because every date that they've shown us that AP Austin has been on, she hasn't made a connection, right? Because Clifton was, she said, reminded her of her brother. And then Wiley is 10 years younger than her. And like, it is something to think about if you're significantly older than a man, because if women mature faster than men, it could be a lot of differences there. But then I remember when she was talking about her late husband, he was 14 years her senior, which means that she's used to a more mature kind of man, right? Like, so it wouldn't really be her speed to date Wiley anyway. But because she was in a relationship with a person that was that much her senior, I feel like that is why she is as reserved as she is. Anyway, that's just my thoughts or whatever. But, you know, I know that somebody's like putting all this together and they're showing us the dates that didn't work. So I wonder if she actually got to go on a date with like Paul or, you know, somebody else, like, to see if she at least made any connection with anybody. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see how that plays out. So like they're doing this beach house this weekend. And so the fellas get there first and they're all, you know, chopping it up, looking at the water, having a conversation that I don't know if they came up with these questions themselves, but it didn't really seem like genuine. It didn't really seem like organic conversation or whatever, but I guess, you know, they had to be doing something while we're watching them come in because they had to all be sitting out there so that Tommy can make his grand entrance on the boat, right? So Tommy comes pulling up on a boat and they all welcome him in and stuff like that. So Eric is going to get in the kitchen and cook, which I don't know if I agree with it. Like half of me is like, yeah, you a chef. Go ahead and get in there, show them what you're doing. The women get to see you in your element, unlike the other men. The women don't get to see them in their actual element. So that was kind of like a leg up for Eric that they actually get to see him in working his craft, right? But then I was like, well, dang, he can't go out there and mingle with everybody if he in there cooking the food. So I don't know. I was just torn about that. But Tommy comes in to the go-go band that they had playing, and I don't know what go-go band that was. They were playing go-go music. I'm not sure who that was though. But I also don't know what Tommy was doing when he was coming in. Like, I don't understand why they did not consult with Wiley to set that whole stuff up. Like, I don't know. Like, they got Eric to cook. Like, why didn't they ask Wiley his opinion on who the band should be that was there and show Uncle Tommy how to do the little two-step that he needed to, you know what I'm saying, come in on, you know? Anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but those are just my thoughts. Like, you're doing the show in DC. DC people like go-go music. Okay. Wouldn't you take that moment to put the city on the map in the best way possible? Then you have the son of the Godfather go-go on it. Like, what? I don't know. Maybe they did and this was just what they came up with, but I don't think so. So then Tommy's like, you know, he calls the girls in. The girls come in. They're killing it. They're killing it. They're killing it. But the one thing that I will say is that I know that they don't always have a makeup artist on set, as Stacey B let me know this weekend. And a lot of times people are coming from their own places and just trying to make the event that they're doing, which is understandable. But I feel like this is not the people's fault. This is like situation. Like, you are the one that has these people on TV. Why wouldn't you invest in a makeup artist to at least like make everything uniform in certain situations. Like if you know that you're gonna be having these people outside and stuff like that, and they need to have certain makeup on, like, I don't know, some of the makeup just didn't translate well to TV. I don't know, maybe y'all don't need to do stylists, but you definitely need to have like a makeup person that can handle, or a makeup team that just makes sure they handles that part of the business. Like that just seems like OWN's fault. Like that just seems like something that OWN should make sure is there. Like, yeah, they have to come from their jobs and stuff to these events, but you just make sure that they get there in time enough to look right. So I don't know, whatever, that's neither here nor there. That's just something that I noticed because I know it was hot out there and the sun was blazing and all of that, and it just, I don't know. So anyway, but other than that, I mean, but that aside, the girls were still killing it. They all looked good. And so Tommy lets them know that it's no more blind dates. Okay, so I'm glad that he cut it off here, because I was saying a couple of episodes ago that I don't know how long they're going to do these blind dates things, but it has to stop sometime soon, because eventually it was going to be a problem. You know what I mean? So, like, they show everybody mingling at the party. You got a whole bunch of different little people hooking up, having conversations or whatever. The kid and Donovan got to connect, and Donovan's interest is piqued, and the kid thinks that he's fine. So that might be a little connection brewing over there. So then Paul and Tina get to have a conversation, and Tina lets him, that's what Tina lets him know, that she is used to older guys. She's used to dating older guys. When she was in middle school, she was dating high school. When she was in high school, she was dating college. Okay. Some of that sounds like it could have been a problem, a potential problem for somebody, but that's neither here nor there. Here we are. And she's talking to Paul. And I actually could see that working as well. Like, I see Paul with a younger woman. I can see Paul with Precious, and I can see Paul with Tina. But Paul is like obviously intrigued, and he's telling her, you know, he's feeling her. He's telling her how she's like, she likes intention. He's saying how he's gonna be really intentional and all of that. And then he said in his cutaway scene, he said that the younger they are, the more trouble they are. So I feel like Paul about to get in trouble, because now he got Precious and Tina, who's like both near the same age or whatever. So it's going to get pretty interesting with that. I don't know if I can picture Paul running after this 2-year-old. Like, I don't know. That should be interesting. Like, what do you guys think? Like, do you think that, can you see Paul being the stepdaddy of a 2-year-old? I don't know. So the kid sees Eric in the kitchen. She goes in there. She's talking to him, and they having their little flirty conversation, and he's telling her that they're going to be in a relationship. And so they having a good vibe. And then in comes Carmen. Now, when Carmen comes in, she had a little moment where her breakaway scene was like little Dakia was in the kitchen. And that's like, you don't have to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, but anyway, nonetheless, she came in, and so she said it was time for Dakia to leave, right? So Dakia's face when Carmen came in was like, oh my God, girl, why are you here? I feel like that was the last thing that she wanted, was for somebody to come in there and interrupt the little time they was having. But she was like, you know, I'll find you later or whatever. And so she leaves Carmen in there with Eric, and we find out that Eric has worked for her before. She's hired Eric before, and Eric says that they never had a situation where they wanted to be together, but that they have fun together. And so I get a little bit of sexual energy from them. Like, they may not have dated exclusively or anything like that, but there's something else that is there. And so she says something about being his number one, and he says, my mouth says you're my number one. And then I thought she said something else at the end. I don't know. I could have been wrong or whatever, but I don't know. So that's going to be interesting how this dynamic is going to go, because Eric really likes the kid. And if he already knew Carmen outside of this process, like, that could happen. But like, if you've already met this person outside of the process, nothing happened. I mean, I feel like Eric is going to pay more attention to the newer options versus somebody that he already knows. Just how, that's just what I think. But I could be wrong. Like, I could be completely wrong, because present day, I saw Eric together with Carmen. Okay. can't remember who else was there because we was on somebody else's live. But then if he was with the kid, wouldn't the kid have been, but if he ended up with the kid, wouldn't the kid have been somewhere around? Like, this cast is doing stuff a little bit different than the last cast, as they, I guess, were doing different stuff than the cast before them, because the last cast was not on live at all like this. They weren't doing any IG lives. They weren't really doing that because they were not talking about anything until it was their week to leave the show. Like, that's when the interviews happened and things like that. But this cast is a little different because they go live a lot. And so, like I said, so I've already seen Eric and Carmen together, and it would just be weird if they, I mean, why would they be sitting there with Carmen and then the kid's not there? So I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen? But some of the past cast members are suggesting that they not go live as much because once it's time for people to interview them, they're not going to want to interview them because we've already heard a lot of other things and we've already like talked to you or whatever, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I guess some things about this season are being handled differently than last season. So then they show Tori and Ace talking to each other, and Tori busted a little freestyle. They show Paul talking to Precious. Precious trying to get him out his shirt, and he's just like, you know, I'm about to go mingle. You do the same. I don't know how long their conversations are. They're just showing the snippets of different conversations or whatever. So it's hard to even say that we're seeing this stuff in the same succession that it happened, but like these are just the different people who are getting together to talk at the pool party. So then Tori and Sabrina sit together for a little bit, and he brings her cupcakes. So then they show Eric talking to AP Austin, and that was I don't know. The only thing I could remember from that part was that I remember thinking, are his feet not touching the ground? He was sitting on the hammock, and it just kind of looked like his feet were dangling, but I got to go back and look. I just never reminded to see, but you can get in the comments below and let me know. So then they're showing everybody chilling. You see Joy and Clifton playing with each other, and Clifton's holding Joy's shoes. I'm like, I know that's right. I really like them together. I really like them together. So I hope everything works out. So then, like, they're all chilling and everything, and then Tommy comes in and is like, okay, fellas, we got a meeting in the house. We got to go talk because somebody has to go home. So they all go and have their men's lounge, and Tommy asks them who they're feeling. So Wiley and Paul say Tina. Clifton actually says Carmen and Joy. Now, last episode, I was like, you know, laughing because Carmen picked Clifton. And I was like, well, he wasn't feeling the baby Jesus eyes. And now I feel bad because obviously there was something that they did not show us because Clifton actually put Carmen in his top. I stand corrected. So we'll see what happens. So then Demetrius and Tori both say Sabrina. So now it's on between the two of them because they both are vying for Sabrina's attention. And by the looks of the previews, Tori is feeling some type of way. And then of course Eric says Dakia, and then Laverne says Ace and Joy. And so there is a part where he's like Joy's all me. And so Clifton, his breakaway, says, no, that's me. I don't know. It's about to get interesting because now a lot of the people are starting to like some of the same people. So we'll see. But then they get to who they're not feeling. Clifton said Precious. Donovan said Precious. Like Laverne and Paul said Sabrina. Laverne said Sabrina, and Dakia, he said it don't look fun. So I don't know. I guess Laverne is gonna try his hand at Ace and Joy. So I don't know. I feel like he got a better shot at Ace than he do at Joy, but stranger things have happened. So then they come outside, and Tommy's like, before they came outside, Tommy was like, well, usually I do this, but I'm putting one of you guys up to tell them who's going home. So he picks Demetrius, and he calls Demetrius up, and then Demetrius goes up there and says that AP and Precious are in the bottom. Now, they do not show us who the hell goes home. So, in my opinion, I'm just going to put this out here. I think that it's going to be one of two things. Either one, he got Demetrius standing up there sweating, about to give this bad news to one of these ladies. And it's most likely going to be AP Austin since it's Demetrius up there doing it. That's just my thought. But I think that in the other side, Tommy likes curveballs, and I feel like he has Demetrius up there. He didn't call the two girls down, and then Tommy's going to come and say, wait a minute, we not sending nobody home this week. I want y'all to work on y'all connections and we're going to get to know each other. And then it's going to probably be a double elimination next week. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there because why not? So we'll see. But now, getting into the teaser for next week. Okay, next week, they're supposed to play Truth or Dare. I'm guessing this is an overnight trip because, I don't know. I guess we'll see. But they playing Truth or Dare. That game is going to get everybody in trouble. People about to start getting in their feelings. It's not about to be nothing nice. And so the drama is about to kick off. Also, I've heard through the grapevine that they were filming the reunion this past weekend. So, I don't know. As a person, as a viewer watching it, I'm thinking that, you know, since they watch the show with us and they see everything unfold as we see it unfold as far as how it was edited, how it was edited and put together. Once you go to the reunion, now you've seen certain things that you didn't know happened, or like I can imagine that this opens up a lot of things that they thought that they were past probably, or just didn't know that they would even feel some type of way about. Because this all happened months ago. This happened last year. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It's all just interesting, but I can't wait to see what happens next week. My top 3 dudes. Let me see if I can think of 3 dudes for this week. My top 3 dudes for this week. Sheesh. Nope, I don't have top 3 dudes. I like Clifton still. I think that Paul is growing on me. And then I'm liking Tori, but it looks like Tori's about to be in his feelings, so we'll see. So Clifton, Paul, and Tori for this week for me. And then the girls for this week are, of course, Joy, Dakia. Joy, Dakia, and I'm rooting for AP Austin. Like, I hope she actually gets a chance to stay in it. Sir, could you please stop making that noise? I really hope AP Austin, sir, come on. So I hope that I want to say that I hope AP Austin gets to stay to still work on some connections, but let's just talk about the ones that we've seen. So no on Clifton, no on Wiley, no on Demetrius. I can't see her with Laverne. She might be able to vibe with Paul. I can't see her with Tori really. Donovan? I don't know. And then who's to say that she didn't already talk to everybody? So I don't know. But my top 3 women are going to be Joy, Dakia, and AP Austin. So we're going to come back here next week to see what happened because they left us hanging this week, and we'll see who gets to go home. Because next week might be an episode where they send that person home first, and then at the end they send another person home. So a woman will go home first in the beginning, and then a guy will go home in the end. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, at this point, we're just all along for the ride at this point. Owen is doing a lot out here. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I'll see y'all later. Peace.